Hi, I'm Shannon Grissom. Are you looking to ignite your creativity? Or how about be inspired by a steady stream of muses? Welcome to Painterly Life, the podcast that celebrates those who create, inspire, and innovate. So whether you're looking to spark your next big idea, reignite your passion, or simply soak in some creative energy, this is the place for you. Painterly Life, where every guest is a new muse, just for you. Welcome to the Painterly Life podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Grissom. Today, we are joined by Nanette Potter. Nanette is an award-winning author of the Blade Broussard thriller series. And when she's not writing, she's traveling the world and dreaming up her next adventure. Welcome, Nanette.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, so were you writing coming out of the womb as a child? What was your childhood like creatively?
You know, I have always wanted to be a writer. It's such a funny story. My mom, thankfully, she gave me my love of reading. She started, getting me books at an early age. I loved to read. And my brother, it's a funny story. My brother's 7 years older. So when he graduated from high school, he asked my parents for a typewriter. Now, my brother has, I don't even know why he asked for a typewriter. He never used it. But I can remember at 10 years old trying to write my first story on his typewriter. So I've always wanted to do something like that.
So that's amazing at 10 years old to be doing that. That's just awesome. And so did he just give you the typewriter, or how did you snag that?
No, he never did give me that typewriter. I don't even know what happened to that typewriter, but it was such a bizarre gift to ask for, because he's more of the racing car type. He's more, outdoorsy. I don't know. Maybe it was Providence. I have no idea. But even at that young age, it was amazing to know at that age that I always had a little editor on my shoulder. And I never thought I was a great writer. I mean, even from that early age. And so it's just been something I've had to conquer.
Well, you sure did. I mean, you're very prolific, wonderful work. I mean, award-winning work. So let's start with Blade Broussard. How did Blade get started? How did that evolve?
I was doing some research for a historical book I was going to write, and I came across a poster, a circus, Barnum and Bailey circus poster of knife throwers. And I thought, this is interesting. So I kept it. And then when 50 Shades of Grey came out and everybody was talking about 50 Shades of Grey, and I just thought, why can't I write a woman thriller, a woman who is strong and capable in the thriller genre that women are going to love? And then Blade started, I started imagining what Blade might look like, different scenarios. And that's kind of how she was born.
Was that your first thriller?
Yes. So Pierce the Darkness is my first book. Deception's Edge is my second book coming out. But I'm very character driven. It took me a few years. So I didn't start writing until I retired. I guess I didn't think I could write a novel until I was retired. So I had a couple of years to really think about what the characters look like. I mean, I really get into it. I look for their pictures. I do character outlines. And I just started working on Blade. And I thought, what kind of woman would I like to be? She's kind
Mm.
of like the woman I wished I could be. Impetuous, spontaneous, fearless, talented, just all those things rolled up into one little ball.
Well, speaking of character, are you a pantser or a plotter, or how do you write?
I'm in between.
Mm.
So I use as my process, I guess you could say, Alexandria Sokolov's screenwriting for writers.
Okay.
And so I do the 3-act structure, uh, but in her way of doing it, it's actually 4 acts. The act 2 is actually divided into 2. But anyway, I kind of go through that process, but I leave just using sticky Post-it notes
Okay.
and very loose, like Blade's going to, she's performing in New Orleans, and then she takes a job in Majorca, for instance. I give myself plenty of room to change. If if something needs to go in another direction, I can simply take off the Post-it notes, start, you know, another leg of her journey, and it doesn't bother me. I don't want to stick to a a hard rule. So
That makes sense. I had
mhm.
a painting teacher that said you can't fall in love with your painting too early. You gotta, because if you do,
Right,
then you get stuck on this one place and you try to work around it, and it's like stifles the whole thing.
it does. I didn't want to be stifled. I didn't want to be stuck on an outline and my outline is very loose. I'll put maybe 11 chapters in a act, but there's so much more that goes into that. So, yeah, I give myself a lot of wiggle room for
That's good.
anything.
That's awesome. So I know you're a world traveler. How does that weave into your writing?
My husband and I love traveling. We've always loved it. We couldn't always afford it. So, and so what we try to do is, and I have to say, I I don't write according to what I've seen. I, you know, like for instance, Pierce the Darkness was already written when I went to Italy,
Mm.
but I was still, you know, uh, adjusting, editing. And so when we went to Italy, I walked and we stayed near the embassy in Florence where Blade would visit eventually. And and I walked the same walk that Blade would walk, going from one place to another. I visited the places that Blade visited, uh, and it really gave me, I think, a sense of uh, what she was seeing, what she was experiencing, smelling, touching. Um, the church that she visited, we got to see that. And so when I came home, I made adjustments. I added all of that sensory description into the book. So that's what I like to do. I like to write first and then go visit later, rather
I
than the
love
other way around.
I love that. So it is a good combination of plotting, pantser. Yeah, how fun.
Yes.
So I know that you live vicariously through your characters. What's the one thing that, let's pick one thing that Blade does that you wish you could do or that you haven't done yet?
Well,
Something
okay.
outrageous and daring.
I wish I could look great in a leather jumpsuit throwing knives at people. I mean, just the whole persona of Blade. I mean, I just want to be her. The long, gorgeous hair, the whole thing, the whole act, her friendship with Joe Mancini, the magician. I just love her. And I think going back a little bit, I think I wrote Blade partly for my granddaughters too. I have 4 granddaughters. And I wanted them to just know that, the thriller genre isn't just for males and guys, and, women can be action figures too. So I wanted to give them a person that they could root for. And I don't know if that'll happen or not, but we'll see.
Well, you have plenty of people rooting for Blade, so I think you're you're onto something there. Um, do you have a regular writing routine? Do you do it daily, or are you a binge writer? How do you do that?
I am an everyday writer. In fact, I'm doing something with writing every single day, whether it's marketing, writing copy, sales copy. Right at this point in time, my energies are directed toward getting Deception's Edge up for pre-order, which it is, and then doing marketing and starting to think about book 3. I've got seeds, so I'll give a little. So my husband and I went to Washington, D.C. recently. So I'm pretty sure Washington, D.C. is going to be in the book.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
I'm definitely an everyday kind of writer or doing something with my writing.
I love that as you're finishing something else or in a different process, something else is gestating. So that's
hmm
really cool. Do you ever get writer's block? Do you ever get stuck?
No, I've just been very fortunate. I mean, there are times when I'm more inspired and
Mm-hmm.
that the words flow easily. And those are just precious moments where the words are just tumbling out and they're perfect. That doesn't always happen. So what normally happens is I'm writing and, it requires editing, but I have never experienced a writer's block where I'm not writing for weeks on end or even a week, and I can't think of anything to say. I think um, in my early, years ago, I read a lot of how-to books, how to write, Elizabeth George, Stephen King, James Fry, all the, who I would consider writers and masters in their own right, of course. And I think I learned that you can choose to have writer's block, or you can just, like they say, sit your booty down in the chair and eventually just start writing.
Yeah.
Or how what I also do is I do um, timed writings. I mean, if I'm really stuck, like let's say I'm stuck on an action sequence and I don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing, I'll just start doing a timed writing and just start writing, and before long, my mind is my creative spirit like comes back, and I'm able to kind of work myself out of that through a timed writing. I also use that kind of technique.
That's a great technique. I've used that for songwriting, and I find with painting is my dominant uh, mode of expression. But I find that even when stuff's hitting the fan and life is just not that good, I show up every day, and so what I produce may not varies from day to day, but I don't get stuck. I might have kind of a brownout where things aren't flowing as well, but I really feel like I'm with you. You show up, and something's going to come out, and some days are more prolific than others. So I love that.
Right.
Okay, so you got a mango margarita in your hand. What's your dream writing destination?
Cancun by far.
Ooh. Okay, so why Cancun? What's so wonderful about that?
Oh my gosh. It's kind of like our place. It's, you know, um, it's our place where we can just go and chill out.
Mm.
Um, I have actually outlined a whole book on a 5-day vacation there, and just by the poolside. I mean, just like very, very brief outline, not a whole. But I don't know, there's just something about the place, the beach, the waves, the beauty. Um, we just love it. We went and I looked it up. I just thought I looked it up recently because in 2001 we visited Cancun with our children. And we were able to walk up the pyramid for Chichen Itza. That was when they still allowed people to walk
Wow.
on the pyramid, and we walked all the way to the top. And I'll never forget, that was our first visit, and it was immediate love of that area of
Mm.
Mexico. And I don't know, there's just something about it that just makes me want to just create. I don't know if you ever feel that way about a place or not, but that's my place.
I do. And it's funny because when I first started, I didn't think it should matter where you create, but it really does. And I know it's important to bloom where you grow. You're not always in the best situation, and you make the best of it. But there are certain places that just help you just
Mm-hmm.
whoosh. And
Yes.
I'm definitely in this new move. I'm definitely in a creative flow. So yeah. So along those lines, is there a book that you've read recently that you just couldn't put down, or either a book that you couldn't put down, or an author that every time they've got something, you're just chomping at the bit for the next one to come out?
So I have two. Well, James Rollins, who is the author of the Sigma Force series, I read every book of his. I mean, he was kind of my inspiration. He was I started reading his books and I just thought, I think I could do that. And
Mm.
so there's James. But recently I did read for the very first time Tess Gerritsen, and it was The Bone Garden. It was, I fell in love with that book.
Mm.
And it goes between present day and historical, so it goes back and forth. And I loved the characters. I loved all the history. She made it interesting. I just thought, wow, I have found a new author to read and listen to. I normally listen to audiobooks for new authors that I'm not sure if I'm going to like them or not. I guess I use audiobooks as experimental, uh, I guess. And then, of course, I buy, because I love paper, I love hardbacks. I, my library is full of hardback books. I just love holding it at night.
Hmm.
But if I'm trying out new authors, I use audiobooks for some reason. I don't know. I used to commute, and I'd use audiobooks to, like I said, experiment and just see if I liked them.
That's a good idea. That's a
Yeah,
really good idea.
because I don't want to read strictly thriller genre. I mean, I want to read other things that, I wouldn't, like Tess Gerritsen, I would consider her more mystery. I don't know. Um, I love Anne Cleeves, for instance, her
Hmm.
Vera and Shetland series. Um, so there's a lot of authors that I love, absolutely love, that are in other genres. And that's how I find them, is through audiobook.
So are these authors that are touching your soul? Are there any elements that they do that are working their way into your own work?
I do love a good love story or a good love triangle. I do love that kind of interaction in a story. Uh, I write a lot about family. For instance, Blade Broussard is adopted, and I'm adopted. So I think a little bit of myself goes into that, that writing, her journey. Um, so I like all that interpersonal relationship. I love all that. So I really try to add that. I always have to add emotion at the end because I'm so action oriented, and that's my weakness. My emotion, the emotional is my weakness. And so I have to really try hard to make sure that I'm connecting with the reader more than just action packed and, Blade is running here and there and, what else is going on with her in her life. So I think that's what I really try to give, my readers more than just action.
So when you're, sounds like you're an action person. So are you always busy when you're not writing, what are you doing?
Usually doing something with the grandkids, or with
action.
friends. Yeah, that's action. They're getting older now, so they don't want to hang out with me as much. But I try to do something. Do Pilates. I am always busy, always doing something. In the evening around 5:30 is kind of like, okay, my husband and I need to start, relaxing. So we'll sit in front of the TV, but even then I have my laptop in front of me until like 9 o'clock. I just love it. So it's not like it's a chore. It's something that I choose to do. I love to do. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. So, I'm happiest when I've got my laptop in front of me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Even when we're watching TV, I'll see a scene on, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a painting there. So I'll start either sketching or taking a snapshot of it. And so, yeah, I don't think it never really gets turned off. Even when you're in a certain mode, it's always running. It's like a background app.
Yes, it is. Which doesn't help us sleeping at night.
No.
Sometimes.
I'm thinking back to Blade. What if Blade, well, wouldn't it be cool if Blade got a movie deal? Who would play her?
Oh, hands down, Anna de Armas. Hands down. Okay, so I'm so happy that you asked me that because I just sent her my book. Now, she doesn't have to read it. I sent it to the address where, she gets mail. Whether she ever gets the book or not, I don't know. But I've put it out there. Anna,
wow.
Please read the book.
Well, you know what? I'm going to just start visualizing that it's a done deal and see you at the premiere and all that good stuff. Wouldn't that be great?
That's what I do. I visualize. I can just see her playing her, and I just think, wow. Yeah, that's what I think. She would be a wow Blade Broussard.
So what's next for you? What are you now? You're releasing one right now, right? You're in the middle
Yes.
of. Let's talk about
Deception's Edge. I'm releasing it. It's on pre-order, like I mentioned. There's still lots to do, before the book launch, but cover design's done. Trailer is. I just think I just received it yesterday. The book trailer. I love everything about it. And so now I'm giving myself permission to start thinking about book 3. I really don't start thinking about the next book until what I'm currently working on is almost done. I know I went to Washington, D.C. I did the cliffhanger at the end is, in Deception's Edge. I think everyone will know she's going to Washington, D.C., so um, so that's just one of the locales that she'll be at. I'm just now starting to think, oh, okay, now what? That's one little seed. Now maybe the flower can start to bloom. That's kind of like maybe how I can say it.
Do you have any advice for people who are thinking about writing, but they haven't started yet?
I would say to people who are thinking about writing or any creative endeavor, actually, whether it's painting, writing music, writing books, whatever, don't wait until the perfect time. Don't wait. Start. Whether you have 5 minutes to devote to it or 15 minutes, because what people will find is that if they can just, even like if you're doing it on a work break or a lunch hour, devote 15 minutes of whatever during the day to it, and you'll find that you're going to actually put in more time than what you allotted for it. Like I mentioned, I retired early so I could write full time. And I retired on a Friday, and on that next Monday, my mom started to get ill. And so I think she had been waiting for me to retire to start going down that journey through doctor visits and that kind of thing. And so, and then COVID hit. And then, my littlest granddaughter was in first grade on Zoom. So I was watching her. I was there when she was on Zoom doing her schoolwork, her school, to make sure that, she was listening. So, I never had the 8 hours between my parents and my grandchildren, which was great because I realized, what was I waiting for all those years? And I hope that I could, through that, I hope that I could encourage anyone who's waiting to retire or waiting for whatever whatever it is they're waiting for. Don't wait, because it's never going to work out for you. Life happens.
It does.
Life happens, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair, but it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's my advice to people. Just get your dream. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also think that age should not be a detriment to anyone's creative spirit or drive or ambition, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged or elderly or whatever age you are, it does not matter. If I could encourage like young people to do something that they love, that's kind of like what I see myself trying to do for people through my writing, through my journey.
Well, you've been incredibly inspiring. I agree. It's my dad started playing piano in his 80s, and so it's never too late unless you think it's too late, and so just do it.
Right.
Just
right.
do it. And like I really love what you said about the perfect time. Right now, I'm a caregiver for my husband, so I crank out. I have a certain amount of time that I'm dedicated to this, and the rest of the day is that. But I'm really productive because there's just I know I have that time. I get in there and do it, and if I get extra time, that's awesome. But I don't expect it, and so, but just keep plodding along. So yeah, that's great advice.
Yes.
So, how can people find more about you, find more about your books? What's your website?
My website is www, of course, NanettePotter.com. I'm on Amazon. I'm on all retailers, practically. You can find my book anywhere, hopefully. I have not done audio, so that's possibly my next hurdle is trying to get an audio done for the books.
Yeah, it's a
My
lot.
sigh.
It's a lot. It would be great to have peeps to help us with all of this.
I
And
know.
I don't think people realize is that whether you're published with a publisher or whether you self-publish, either way, there's a tremendous amount of marketing and the business end of it that needs to be done. So yeah,
There
my
is.
hat's off to you.
There is so much. And I know people think that if you get a traditional publisher, that it's all going to be done for you,
No,
but it is not.
no.
I mean, maybe for the, you know, I mean, James Patterson, they were doing commercials, TV commercials for him when he was working with Dolly Parton, when he co-wrote
Wow.
his book. I saw a couple of his commercials. I thought, there's no way anybody else probably would get that kind of,
Right.
advertising. So, yeah, there's a lot of work. And as you know, there's a lot of work in creative. My friend gave me, it's on my wall, it says, creativity takes courage. And I like to think that that's true because there's so much, but I do have to say that creativity takes courage, but it also encourages me to learn more about different things.
Yes.
I, I have learned so much during this process, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, you've been incredibly inspiring. Do you have any parting shots or parting words for people who are listening?
No, I just think if you've got a story inside of you, start writing it. Get a journal. It doesn't even matter. You don't even need a journal. You can just, as back to school is coming up, back to school shopping, go buy yourself a couple of cute little uh, spiral notepads. Let's get to work. Let's get that story written.
Oh, you've been awesome. That's a good one. Well, thank you for being here, Nanette.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. This has been such a pleasure. Thank you.
It's just great to share your story. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in again for another episode of Painterly Life. We will put all of Nanette's information in the show notes so you can find her. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. That's a wrap. We'll see you next
Thank
time.
you.